Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? Hope you're having a great day out today. Today we're going to talk about 4 reasons that maybe you won't retire at the same time as your spouse. Maybe actually 4 benefits to not retiring at the same time as your spouse. It happens. A lot of people want to and picture their retirement together where they're traveling and having a good time. They both quit their jobs and they enjoy time with children, grandchildren, whatever it may be. However, we have a lot of customers that are in and approaching retirement here at Jazz Wealth, and we're finding that a lot of them like to retire at different times. And I think there's a lot of things we've learned from that. I'd like to share some of those with you today if you have a moment. The first thing, benefit to not retiring at the same time as your spouse is you have more time to contribute to your IRAs or your Roth IRAs or your 401ks, right? For example, like in a Roth IRA, you have to have earned income in order to contribute to it. So if you both quit your jobs and you're still trying to save to have enough money in retirement, then that kind of limits you there. You know what I mean? Also, the 401k match. If you're leaving a job and you were getting a 5-6% match in your 401k and you give that up, well, you're missing out on 5-6% extra income. Maybe if one spouse continues to work for a little bit while the other retires, well, that could be good as well. Also, keep this in mind, it's a little extra topic here. If you are retired and your spouse is still working, you can still have an IRA and contribute to it, even though you don't have any income for yourself. It's called spousal IRA. And if you guys are married filing jointly, then that's something you can work out as well. So retiring at different times allows the chance for those of you that are still kind of close to hitting your goals, you don't quite have enough money yet, it may make sense for you guys to retire at different times. All right, tip number 2. Maybe more Social Security, right? If one of you is working and the other is retired, that may allow for you guys to both delay Social Security. You guys know if you delay Social Security, the older you are, the more you get. So it may make more sense for you guys to both delay Social Security, and it may be more financially feasible for you guys to do that if one of you is still working. If it happens that one of the spouses passes away, well, then that larger survivor benefit still pays off of the fact that you guys decided to delay there. So that's tip number 2, is that you may actually be able to delay Social Security. It just comes down to working out the numbers there and seeing if that's something you can do. Tip number 3, lower healthcare costs, right? This is assuming you're not already qualified for Medicare, but let's say that one of the spouses is still working and they have health insurance. Even if it's only for that, let's say the health insurance only covers the individual that's working and not the family for some reason, well, that could keep your healthcare costs low. Have you looked around lately? Have you looked around to see what would happen if you both retired early or something and had to pay for healthcare insurance out of pocket? It's not pretty. We got to do something about that. So you might want to consider having one spouse work, even if it's only in some sort of part-time way where they do get health insurance, if that's something that's offered to them. That is tip number 3. Tip number 4, lower taxes, right? If one of you is working, the other is not, you may have lower income, which means a lower tax bracket in general, which could give you a little bit more freedom to save up a little bit more money before retirement. This one's tricky. I'm going to suggest you speak with your CPA on this one, or if you're already working with a financial advisor, let's see what that pans out to be, especially if you're on the fence and you're saying, well, we both could retire and we both could keep working. How should that work? Who should be retiring first? Should we change our withholding a little bit there? Yeah. But should we change our withholding there to maybe put a few more dollars in our pocket so even though we have lower income, we're getting a dollar that's stretched out a little bit further there? I'll give you a bonus tip, by the way. That was the 4th tip, was the lower taxes there. I'll give you a bonus tip. You ever think about this? You and your spouse are used to going to work. You come home, you spend a few hours together, you make dinner, whatever you do, right? Imagine if we flip the switch and you both retire at the same time. You wake up on Monday morning and you're both staring at each other like, I'm not used to seeing you here, right? Think of the sort of relationship adjustments that you guys have to make. This is outside of my realm of expertise, right? But I'm just saying, think about what happens there if you're both staring at each other. I've heard this from customers say, we're sort of like, nipping at each other here because we're both retired. We don't need to travel and do stuff every single day. So we're trying to adjust to living together on a 24-hour basis and being around each other a lot more. So if one of you is going to work or maybe even volunteering if you both retire, but let's say for the case of this video, one of you are still going to work, well, you're sort of inching into that sort of relationship status of, well, he's going to be home when I get home, and that's how it's going to work, and maybe I've got a day off, and so we're both together, versus just flipping the switch overall. Okay, you can bash me in the comments for that. I know I probably jumped off topic there, but hey, it's something that comes up, and our customers, they feel the comfort level to share things with me that you wouldn't think they would share. So something maybe you should consider. So tip number 1, you got more time to save in your IRAs, Roth IRAs. Tip number 2, possibly more Social Security if you can both delay it or if there's a survivor benefit there. Tip number 3 is lower healthcare costs, assuming you are not qualified for Medicare. Tip number 4 is possibly lower taxes, which could help you stretch your dollars further. And bonus tip was, hey, maybe if you don't really like your spouse, and you keep working a little bit or do something else. Well, that's how a video goes from pretty good to a disaster. Let me know in the comments section what you think. Give it a thumbs up if I didn't thoroughly frustrate you there. And I appreciate you watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Join us later for the closing beat, live at 5 o'clock every single day on our YouTube channel, Jazz Wealth Managers. It's a stock market update show. I appreciate you guys joining and all the support that you give us there. I wish you a great and happy rest of the year. And, of course, happy holidays to you. I'm sure I'll say that a few more times. And we'll talk to you soon.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.